Welcome to the latest Libertas video. Today we're going to be starting a new project working on the Bayek gauntlets from Assassin's Creed Origins. Now this is really starting off from scratch. There's not a lot of reference material online for Bayek's gauntlets, so I'm just going to look it up. Typically what my first process is just really trying to understand how these things go together. So I'm going to pull up some images on the web, see what they look like. I'm going to sketch them out because that really just helps me personally come around, like get my mind around exactly what is supposed to be made with these gauntlets, and then we'll get into the template making process. Now I don't know exactly where this entire video is going to go for this specific one, but I really am hoping that this entire video series is going to take you through the process from beginning to end on how we actually put together these gauntlets. So hopefully it will give you some good inspiration if you want to do a project similar to what we're doing. So pretty excited, you know, Assassin's Creed Origins is coming out in October, and so this should be a fun video series as we go along. So I'll get some footage as we start this whole process, sketching everything out, and then I'll check back in once we finish up that process to tell you how we're going to go about doing the templates. So let's get started. All right, so here is the final sketch. Now, as you'll notice from that sketch, that not everything's like really pretty. This isn't meant to be an art piece. This is really a rough sketch to get my mind around how the leather pieces are supposed to go together. Now, I've always found that this is the best technique for me. Personally, I like drawing, and that's really where I get a good sense of how things are put together. So, yeah, that sketch is really going to help me out as I move into the template phase. With the templates, here we'll look, I showed you real quick when I was doing the Connor Kenway van brace, this craft foam. Now that craft foam you can buy at any place like Hobby Lobby or any crafting store, Joann Fabrics, Michaels, I don't know what's around you, but it's super cheap, really easy to work with. I just draw it on with a pen, my template, cut it out with a pair of scissors, and then I can modify. I can see how it's fitting on my arm and trim it down, or decide, I made it too small, let's make it a little bit bigger. So it's really cheap, so you can, if you mess up, you can go buy some new stuff and it's not that big of a problem. So we're gonna be using that for the templates. So yeah, I mean, the sketches will really help. I really was just basing that a lot off of both the cinematic trailer that they came out with, and then also from the cosplay guide that they put out, just giving people reference on how to make that. So it's a lot easier for the left gauntlet, and the right gauntlet was a little more tricky to work with, but I finally found some good enough references to work off of that. So pretty excited to move on to the template phase, and once again, sit back, you can watch this as we continue on, and then we'll reconvene once the templates are established. All right, see you soon. All right, and here's a look at the template as it's just kind of mocked up right now. Definitely a lot more challenging than I thought it was going to be. This is a relatively complicated design, so definitely like how it's turning out, though. I think it's looking really good, and I think at the end of the day, this is going to be a really mean looking gauntlet. I'm actually a little bit more excited about it than I initially was. I thought it was going to be cool, but putting it all together, kind of getting that lifelike representation is definitely getting me a little bit more inspired. So real quick, I'll walk you through what's going on here. As you saw, these probably presented the most challenging, or most challenge to me when I was creating them, mainly because I didn't realize when I sketched everything out that these are going to have to taper down again and again and again as we reduce the sizing of the top plate, or that's what I'm basically calling the top leather piece of the gauntlet. In the cinematic trailer, there's a discrepancy. When Ubisoft released a concept, or not concept, but like a cosplay reference for this gauntlet, And then they have the cinematic trailer that came out. Now the cinematic trailer matches up more with, say, the figurines that they're promoting that they're going to sell once the game comes out. And in that, and as well as cinematic trailers, only this piece and this piece have metallic pieces on the actual leather. And then this is just leather, 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 leather. In the initial cosplay reference, they had metal, 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 metal on top of all the leather. So I'm going to go with more the metal look. Right now this is all going to stay leather, and potentially even this is going to stay leather. But we'll have to find a way to inset this template with, you know, a portion of metal. So either I'm thinking right now a thin metal sheeting that you can buy, say, at Home Depot, or we can do a piece of PVC, a thinner piece of PVC, cut it out relatively easily, and then heat it up and retain it on here. But right now we'll just start with all the leather and get all that done and out of the way. So those pieces can definitely come later and don't need to be done right away. All this will be done in the armoring leather, which is, you know, a thicker leather. So you know, this is going to bulk up quite a bit compared to what you see right here. So if it looks a little puny, don't worry, it's going to get way more intimidating looking. Made this diamond piece, buckle piece. This will be replicated again and again. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, at least on that side, and then you got another 4 coming over here. So that'll all buckle down and look pretty cool, and it will attach up to here. And it will be sandwiched. We'll sandwich another piece of leather that will be the buckle that goes, or at least the strap that goes to the buckle, which the buckle will be on here. We'll just come up with some intriguing way of rigging that up. But overall, this will all be in armoring leather minus this. I think if I did the base gauntlet in armoring leather, then this thing's going to get way too thick looking. Just kind of be unwieldy. And we want to make it look more like a Bronze Age or, you know, Hellenistic piece. So I'm thinking suede. I think suede's going to be the way to go with this piece, just to hold everything together. It'll be comfortable on the arm and won't be too thick. I do have another thinner leather piece, but it gets a little too stiff, so whatever. So that's where it stands right now. I know that in my sketches, I already started sketching out the right gauntlet of Bayek, whatever his name is. But I was just a little, I mean, this stuff in and of itself took me total 4 hours from the sketching to actually cutting out the template. So that's a lot of time. So I'm going to end it today right here, and we'll just continue forward working on the left gauntlet. That will be what holds the hidden blade, which I've already started 3D modeling. There might be a separate video on that, might not be. It's not in a position to show it off just yet. I've just basically created the blade portion. I'm still working out how the locking mechanism is going to work and everything. But at the end of the day, this is going to be the first challenge of getting the Bayek stuff done. So, like I said, I'm really looking forward to how this is going to look once it's all done, once it's all in the leather. It's going to really take shape and take its own, you know, life once we transfer it onto the leather. So that will be the next video. So definitely check back in regularly, as we will be continuing to update this gauntlet as we go along. Of course, I'll put some links in the description below where you can find this type of foam. I bought it on Amazon and just had it shipped here, but you can go to any, you know, craft store, like I said before. So real easy to work with. And as we go along, I'll just continue to give you guys resources, just so if you want to tackle a similar project, you can do that as well. I mean, honestly, this stuff is not all that hard. If I can figure it out, so can you. I know there's going to be people out there that go, hey, can you do me a commission piece? And as much as I would love to do a commission piece, that's just going to be too much for my schedule. So hopefully this is going to inspire you. I hope all my videos at least push you towards the realm of inspiration. So whether you're deciding to make a fan film, or if you just want to make a costume, or heck, you know, whatever you want to do, I hope this video has inspired you to get out there and do it, because you can. And it's definitely a rewarding process once it's all done. So this is a cool creative process. We're going to be continuing it on. So we'll see you on the next Libertas video.